I think I've already explained in the text accompanying this short poetry video what the purpose of the video is. We are going to be joining the poem about 2/3 of the way through, so I am making some assumption that you're already familiar with the role of ShootersHill or position of references to ShootersHill, should I say, in English literature, particularly, for example, Dickens. It's the highest hill in London and Kent and overlooks the whole of the city, and indeed Greenwich Park and the Time Ball, and Blackheath, where I was working as what one might call a political activist, trying to minimise the worst excesses of the Thatcherite era. So we'll join the poem, as I say, about 2/3 of the way through. Each day to see the human tide swell to the banks of London's pride, flood in and out of the city gates to expiate their many crimes, committed at their mother's side in the name of growing up and growing old, acts and deeds that ring so bold in so many young hearts, but readily form those clay bricks used by their masters like carrot and stick to wall them into servitude and obedience, a block against a future malfeasance, with the will that they become as the clay upon which London stands, and slave and serve as might a colony of ants before that ruling icon. So I shall make the chance I need to join with others standing now in London's queues, those pleading for their rightful dues, those dispossessed of hearth and home and family, pressed all around by a vile cacophony of demands from rent and debt collectors, working together with social security inspectors, and with that more than half of London's homeless, burdened with debt as a first-time buyer, for increased crime having no reasons, but suddenly understanding overcrowded prisons and the poverty of more northern regions. To challenge the work of Lords and Commons, statutory instrument, regulation and summons, to challenge the work of men of property who employ us with alacrity, when friends in commons create the opportunity for increased profits and certain viability, and cast us aside once our purpose is served and their prosperity is assured. So shall I revisit still the time I lived on Shooter's Hill.